So my entire life, I have been extremely physical, moving around, climbing, flipping, pushing and pulling, and exercising and exploring. And through this process, I've realized a multitude of things about myself. First of all, I realized that my original purpose for pursuing these activities was to look cool and to become aesthetically pleasing and get ripped, because I suppose I saw somebody else look ripped and I wanted that. And it would burn out extremely quick, and then I would lounge around for a while not knowing what to do, and then I would manage to conjure up the motivation to get myself back out again for some kind of very shallow reason, and I would end up pursuing exercise or some physical activity once again for reasons that were extremely materialistic and just based on looking cool and looking ripped. And sure enough, it would burn out again. And so I realized that this wasn't working, and that the things that stuck in my life were things that had reason and purpose. So then I asked myself, what are the things that have meaning and purpose in my life? And to my surprise, it was extremely paradoxical at the time. Well, it seemed anyway, but it seemed as though I had been searching for the wrong thing the entire time. The purpose and the reason for movement was to enjoy movement. And so to try and find more reason to move actually turned out to be the reason why I was not enjoying movement. When in actuality what needed to happen was I needed to shift, and I needed to understand that I needed to allow myself to go full circle and realize that my original meaningless, directionless movement was a perfectly adequate reason to be moving around. And so the things that I started to try and find reason for, the physical things, started becoming second nature, started becoming part of my muscle memory. And I started to feel as though I wasn't doing them anymore, that I wasn't some individual thing moving in the universe, but that I was the universe moving, and that I was one with everything. So basically, me and my girlfriend moved out into the middle of nowhere, and there was no shops, there was no buses, there was nothing. And it really gave me a chance to start being meditative, contemplating, really just observing things and being present. And through this, I started to naturally become gravitated towards certain movements. And a lot of those movements would be me kind of joking around about flowing. You know, I wanted to flow like air, like fire, like water, like all these things, and I would just move like that, making a coffee or making some dinner, and I would flow around the kitchen, or try to flow around the kitchen as best as possible, because it felt good. And I'd begin to realize that what I really liked, that I felt gave me a good quality in life, is agility and fluidity, and not so much muscle. I wasn't really too worried about muscle. I wasn't really too worried about how I looked. I just wanted to be able to move. I wanted to be able to feel light rather than heavy. And of course, what naturally got incorporated within that was diet, because I realized that when I ate shit food, I felt sluggish. And then when I ate well, I felt light and agile. And I dabbled a few times between eating a little bit too much and eating not enough. And then I found some happy mediums where I would be able to get the nutrients and eat healthy foods that are filling and substantial, as well as just not weighing me down. And through this process, developed a real love for just agility and movement in general. Essentially, all I can say with certainty is that with the realization that meaningless movement has meaning and is significant, as well as the realization that I want movement to have intention, I have no idea what movement I'm going to become next, because I'm being movement, and that's ever changing, and I have no idea where my intention is going to go. I have no idea what I'm going to enjoy, but for now I know that I want to keep flowing and keep the balance between meaningless movement and intentional movement, and allow that to flow wherever it will and look however it looks. As for my goals for this channel, I want to incorporate more movement. I want to incorporate more of my everyday life that has been excluded from my channel so far, because it's just been me sitting down and articulating my experience. But I would like to incorporate my everyday life as well, because that's significant. It's something that matters. It's what I'm doing, where I'm at.